They tell you friendship is sacred, that it's the purest form of love, untouched by the betrayals of romance, the politics of family, or the chaos of society. But look closer. Beneath the smiles, beneath the promises, beneath the phrases like best friend forever, there lies something darker. What if friendship is not a sanctuary, but a trap? A trap we walk into willingly, without realizing how much of ourselves we're handing away. From the very beginning, we are sold an idea of friendship that feels almost divine. Childhood cartoons tell us that a friend will always have our back. Schoolyard lessons celebrate Friendship Day with ribbons and cards. Movies show us the inseparable duos, Batman and Robin, Sherlock and Watson, Frodo and Sam, making us believe that the highest loyalty a human can offer is to a friend. It sounds beautiful, and it often is. Friendship can be warmth. It can be laughter echoing in late-night conversations, or the comfort of someone who simply understands without explanation. But what if this beauty hides chains? What if every friendship, in its own subtle way, binds you to invisible obligations, expectations you never consciously agreed to, but silently signed by simply saying, "Yes, we're friends"? Friendship begins casually, a conversation, a shared laugh, a bond over music, books, or pain. But beneath that spark, something unspoken takes root, a contract. It is not written, it is not signed, but it exists. In this contract, you're expected to show up when called, to offer loyalty even when you disagree, to mirror emotions, to validate choices, to protect secrets even when they burn you from the inside. We rarely question this contract because it hides behind noble words: loyalty, trust, companionship. Yet those words can become shackles. They tell us a good friend always picks up the phone. A good friend never says no. A good friend doesn't change. But who decided this? And why do we obey it so blindly? Every friendship runs on an invisible economy. You give, and you expect to receive. Sometimes it's emotional validation. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's attention. This isn't evil. It's human. But the trap emerges when this economy becomes unbalanced, when one friend gives more and receives less, when one grows and the other refuses to, when one carries wounds while the other demands constant sunshine. In these moments, friendship stops being liberation and becomes captivity, because you stay not out of freedom, but out of guilt. You tell yourself, "They need me. I can't let them down." And so you sacrifice yourself on the altar of loyalty. But what if loyalty is sometimes just another word for self-betrayal? Friendship has another trap: identity. Every friend knows a version of you. Maybe the funny version. Maybe the rebellious version. Maybe the one who was lost and broken at the time you met. And once they lock that version in their mind, it becomes difficult to escape. Because the day you try to evolve, the day you try to change, the friendship feels threatened. Suddenly, they accuse you of being different, distant, or fake. The reality is, you're not betraying them. You're simply growing. But friendship can trap you in the person you used to be, keeping you small, familiar, and palatable. Growth often feels like betrayal to those who refuse to grow with you. Let's talk about the sacrifices we make for friendship. You stay in toxic circles because you don't want to abandon the one friend who still belongs there. You tolerate disrespect because you remember the time they stood by you years ago. You suppress your needs because you fear being labeled selfish. But why do we do this? Because friendship convinces us that leaving is cruelty and staying is kindness. But sometimes leaving is the kindest thing you can do for them and for yourself. This is where the trap sharpens its teeth. Friendship doesn't only trap you in people, it traps you in time. You feel chained to the past, to promises made under different versions of yourself. Even the great thinkers wrestled with this. Aristotle believed there were three types of friendships: friendships of utility, of pleasure, and of virtue. Friendships of utility end when the benefit ends. Friendships of pleasure end when the fun ends. Only friendships of virtue, those built on deep mutual respect and growth, are meant to last. But here's the hard truth. Most of our friendships fall into the first two categories. They are temporary, transactional, circumstantial. Yet we cling to them, terrified to admit that maybe they were never meant to last forever. Nietzsche once warned, "It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages." Yet he also saw how friendships themselves could suffocate the individual, demanding conformity instead of individuality. And Dostoevsky, he showed us in his characters that friendship is rarely pure. It is laced with jealousy, dependence, competition, and even cruelty, disguised as care. So why do we still worship it? The deepest fear in friendship is betrayal, that your secrets will be exposed, that your vulnerability will be weaponized, that the one who once swore to protect you will one day become the one who destroys you. But maybe the greater betrayal happens silently every day. When you betray yourself in order to maintain the friendship, when you silence your truth so you don't upset them, when you shrink your dreams so you can fit inside their comfort zone. This is the slow betrayal, one that doesn't explode but erodes. There's a darker layer still. Some friendships are not companionships, but power games. One friend becomes the leader, the other the follower. One decides, the other obeys. One gives approval, the other lives for it. And this power dynamic is intoxicating. The follower feels safe, the leader feels needed. But beneath this dance is manipulation, control, dependency. In this sense, friendship is not so different from a cage. The bars are made of affection, but they are bars nonetheless. Here's the paradox. We enter friendships to avoid loneliness. But sometimes the deepest loneliness is inside a friendship that no longer fits. You laugh with them, but feel unseen. You sit beside them, but feel unknown. You speak, but your words don't land. And yet, you stay. Because society has convinced us that being friendless is a failure, a red flag, a sign of being unlovable. So we cling to dead friendships like corpses, carrying them long after they should have been buried. So what do we do? Do we abandon the idea of friendship altogether? Number. But we must see it clearly. Friendship is not sacred by default. It is not immune to toxicity, control, or decay. It must be chosen wisely, and it must evolve. A real friend will not chain you to the past. They will walk with you into your future, even if it means walking at a distance. A real friend will not punish you for growing, but will demand you grow, even if it makes them uncomfortable. A real friend does not keep you small, but challenges you to become larger than even you imagined. Anything less is not friendship. It is a trap. So the next time you whisper the word friendship, ask yourself, am I free here or am I trapped? Am I growing here or am I shrinking? Am I myself here or am I only the version they prefer? Friendship can be the greatest gift life offers or the subtlest cage you'll ever live in. The choice is yours. Because true friendship does not trap you. It sets you free.